Hello there, and welcome to the Bearded Peacock. It's my channel where we talk all things Leeds United. I'm back again, Leeds fans. I've been away. I haven't done one since the Everton games. So there's plenty to talk about, but I'm doing a little bit of a roundup here today. I'm calling it the Catch-Up Club. Of course, I did one a while ago now. It's a long time since I've not done one for short, for a long amount of time. I think it was 9-10 days ago since the Everton preview I did. Like I said, I'm still having one or two technical issues, so can't get them out as quickly as frequently as I want to, as I have been always doing. But that will return once I get things sorted. So I'm still here. Don't worry about that. Not that anybody was, but I am still here. I'm still doing things and still having my say on Leeds United and what's going on in the world of Leeds United. So there's plenty to get on with in this video here, which is an audio with a video with an image on top, if you like, piecing them together as I can. But look, plenty to talk about in the last since I last spoke. Obviously, we beat Everton in the Premier League opener last Monday. Now, what was it? 9 days ago. 1-0 win, excellent performance. Lucas Nemecha with his debut goal to win the game. The penalty kick. Was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty? Who cares now? For what for my money, I'll have my 2 cents on it. I think it was a penalty. It was a great way to dispatch the penalty. Lovely pinpointly taken. I'm sure he was on the list last night of penalty takers should we have got there to the point where he can take one. We didn't, obviously, but Nemecha stuck that one away for the 3 points at Ellen Road against Everton. Very contentious, but we moved on to the game against Arsenal. So I'll round up the games that have been so far. Then I'll go on to transfer news and maybe a little bit of, obviously, there has been a couple of transfers since, and maybe a couple of rumours, one or two. But round up the games, we went on to Arsenal. Obviously, a difficult away trip, and it proved to be so. We don't get much from the Emirates, too, with Leeds fans, and we definitely did not this time. Absolutely bulldozed out the way in London, as we usually are. Like I said, at the Emirates, I haven't seen the stats, but I'm pretty sure we've conceded 4 in the last 3 trips, at least 4 goals in the last 3 trips to the Emirates Stadium. We always seem to get just battered there. I remember that time Luke Ayling got a red card. We lost 4-2 there. Well, I think we lost 4-1 the last time we were in the Premier League. Obviously, this time 5-0. Terrible, really. I mean, but the golfing class is absolutely there for everybody to see. We weren't going to get anything from those kind of games. We all know that our season isn't won and lost off games and defeats at the Emirates Stadium and places like such. We've got to dig deep against teams that are going to be in and around us. That's why the Everton, result was so impressive and so much needed going into these, next couple of games. Obviously, the Arsenal one was a huge defeat. Obviously Newcastle at Ellen Road are coming on Saturday, which is another obviously difficult-looking game, but any game at Ellen Road, we've not got the upper hand, obviously, but I believe we've got more of a chance than we are if we're playing at, say, which we will have to go to St James's Park, obviously, but I think we've got more of an opportunity to get some sort of result at Ellen Road, is what I'm saying. And I don't doubt that the boys obviously will give it their all. And we might get something, but maybe I'll look at that just off the back of looking at the of that disaster last night as of recording. But yeah, Arsenal game, it was a free hit, classic free hit sort of motto, if we get something fabulous, but we're not really expected to. And as it was, we got absolutely nothing and then some. Disappointing, but not unexpected in the slightest. So we move on to Newcastle, like I said, which I will do a quick preview then of at the other side of looking at the Sheffield Wednesday game. Now, obviously, much change, Leeds United. I think there was 9 changes from the team that got thrashed at Arsenal on Saturday evening. And it was a strong-looking team, but it wasn't a strong performance at all. Sheffield Wednesday, which was basically a youth side. I mean, if you look at this, obviously at an empty Hilsbrough just desolate, bar a few Wednesday fans at the side, on one of the stands at the side of the pitch. The back of the goal, obviously, full to the brim of Leeds United fans, as always. The rest of the stadium was empty because obviously they're boycotting it because of the Chanzeri chairman is running it into the ground. But good news in a way for Wednesday is that they are now, Mr. John Textor, who does own Crystal Palace, he owns Botafogo in Brazil, and he has something to do with Lyon as well, doesn't he, in the French league? He is said to be interested in taking over Sheffield Wednesday. I don't know whether that's a full ownership or buying a stake in the club. I'm not 100% certain. I was reading today that John Textor in some way is interested in pursuing a purchase of Wednesday, whether that be full control or part control. I'm not quite sure. That might seem flamboyant to start with, but I think it's bad news for Wednesday in the long run, really. Seems to throw cash at the teams that he owns, and then he just seems to disappear and dry up. So I don't know whether that would be in Sheffield Wednesday's best interest, but certainly in their best interest was a penalty shootout win against Premier League Leeds United last night, as of recording. Youth side for Sheffield Wednesday, a lot of lads 18 to 20 playing, barely any experience in men's football, really. A smattering of appearances amongst them, bar, the goalkeeper, the American goalkeeper, who had a decent game, and Jamal Lowe, who's very experienced compared to the rest of the team. Obviously, the likes of, Palmer and Barry Bannon were on the bench, vastly experienced players. But other than that, there wasn't much. Ugbo, Canadian international, but he's a young player as well. Past that, there wasn't much at all in that Sheffield Wednesday team. And yet they managed to beat Leeds on penalties. They didn't have a great deal of the game, I don't think, really. They got one opportunity, ricocheted a couple of times through Darlow's legs, went down as a Darlow own goal, and then obviously, Jaden Bogle got his level. Nice little finish from Jaden from a little side pass from Willie Nonto. But, not good enough at all was that. Our squad, including the players that came off the bench last night, 200-odd international appearances between the lot of them. Like I said, the smattering of men's football appearances between the lads in Sheffield Wednesday, blue and white, other than, like I said, Barry Bannon, Jamal Lowe, Mr. Palmer, the defender, and the goalkeeper as well, who's, compared to the rest of those boys, out on that pitch wearing white and blue, is vastly experienced. Other than that, there was hardly anything in that Wednesday team, to be honest. And Leeds probably approached it wrong. Being a pretty full, almost empty stadium, they're going to look at it as a little bit of a friendly game, really. And I don't think there was the intensity there from Leeds United that needed to just put them to bed. And they didn't. And obviously Wednesday got confident, got the goal. Obviously we equalised, but then still it goes straight to penalties if you don't get a goal. We should have got a goal. I mean, Calvert-Lewin, I thought, he's bound to score here. Sheffield United boy, looking forward to a dust-up with Wednesday coming on in the second half. I felt sure he'd get one, and he should have got one, really, shouldn't he? Injury time, I think he had 3 opportunities. He could have got a hat-trick in injury time. All 3 of those chances should have put them in, shouldn't he, really? Being a vastly experienced Premier League forward, should have scored all 3, should have put us to bed. And hey, if he did, he's lauded as a hero, and Daniel Farke's done the best business in the land, bringing him in. And 3 goals on his debut, within injury time, and to win us the game would have been quite sensational. Obviously, it turned the other way. He missed three, and in the press today, he missed three sitters. He's had a horrible debut, the worst debut he could have imagined, and obviously got worse for the lads. Spooned that penalty well over the bar. But it wasn't just him, was it, last night? They're all poor. He wasn't the only one that missed a penalty. Joel Perreault, who's usually so reliable from 12 yards out, missed his kick as well. And then the vastly experienced Premier League man of Sean Longstaff as well missed his penalty kick. So not a good day, not a good night for Leeds. But all the best to Sheffield Wednesday. Look, they deserved it. You go toe-to-toe up against men, basically, as a group full of, probably really 8 or 9 of them, 18 to 20-year-old, 21-year-old young lads going up against, vastly experienced players, really. Like I said, our boys between them, including the lads who came off the bench, 200-odd international caps amongst them, Premier League caps, Premier League appearances, appearances at all kind of levels. And those guys have barely got any experience of men's football. And they've gone toe-to-toe and won the game on penalties. So fair play to them, and good luck to them. I mean, I know some of those boys could celebrate that game, that win a little bit more kind of humbly, if you like. But the young boys, and look, they'll have been absolutely, surprised as anybody to win the game, but you just plug in and you get on and you do your best, and it got them the result there, and see what they get in the next round and see how they do from there in the Championship, because obviously it's hard times at Wednesday, so that's obviously given them a big boost. But from the way that we look at it, very embarrassing. Is it on Histon levels? I'd say it probably is. It probably is. Obviously different competition, different times. Their Championship, we're Premier League, but at the time that they're non-league, we're League One, but still embarrassing it was for those boys of big experience to just not look that interested, really, against a team of young lads who are up for it, who want to stake a claim in men's football, in their team's football, in their team's football club. So fair play to them. They deserved it, and on they go to the next round. We go out. Obviously, like I said, Newcastle up next. We'll wait and see how that goes. Obviously, they were defeated at St. James's Park against Liverpool very, very late on. Another young lad with a fabulous moment for himself and for Liverpool Football Club. A real important winner there at St. James's Park. And obviously, Newcastle yet to win this season. We've got more points than they have. After 2 games, we've got 3, they've got 1. Obviously, they would surpass us if they do beat us. Very difficult game. Newcastle are a great side and have some really, really good players, regardless of what's going on between the club and Alexander Isak. The club, they've got some good players in there, and we would expect a real stern test from Newcastle, and we will get it. We will get it, no doubt about it. But like I said, Ellen Road, I fancy us to at least give it a bit more of a go than it would be away from home. It's only the 3rd game of the season. Mr. Farke is coming under pressure with that result yesterday. But, a positive result to Saturday, and we're back amongst it, aren't we? So, and we're looking all right, really, won't we? If we did win, even a draw is all right in my mind. But, obviously the transfer window is coming to a close as well. Can we get somebody in before the Newcastle game? Now, if we look at the transfers that have happened since I last spoke, there has been 2. One, the most recent, James Justin, that came from Leicester City on Monday evening, was announced. The fullback can play either side of the defence, 27 years of age. Experience, very experienced actually, at Premier League level as well with Leicester last season, and Championship, experience Amundo really as well. So should we go down, not that I want to say that in August, but, you've got to look realistically at what's going to happen. Should we go down, the squad might be all right to bounce straight back in with the likes of James Justin in it. So I think James Justin obviously was understudy to Jane Bogle and Gabriel Gudmundsson. Obviously, it would mean probably Sam Byram slips down the pecking order. We saw him in Leeds black last night. We're going to say the away shirt, the third shirt, looked all right, actually. Let me know your thoughts on that one in the comments, but it actually looked good, I thought, on the players themselves yesterday. We saw him line up in Hilsbrough for the game yesterday. I don't think we'll see much more of him this season if Justin can stay fit. And obviously we've got Bogle as well and Gudmundsson on the other side. Obviously I think Isaac Schmidt sounds like he is going to take that loan move to Werder Bremen. We were just waiting for us to get a replacement in. Now we do. I'd expect Schmidt to go, obviously, before the deadline to the German Bundesliga. But there you go. So the other one in since we last spoke is Mr. Noah Okafor. Okafor signed, I think it was last Thursday, potentially, Swiss international, like Mr. Isaac Schmidt. He is a Swiss international player, a lot more experience than Schmidt at international level. It has to be said. Experience in the Italian Serie A as well with AC Milan. That's where we got him from. I believe it was about 20 million euros we paid for him. He can play in all the attacking options, really, all the attacking positions. So that's a decent signing for me. I mean, again, he's not too old, is he? We were interested in him a few years ago. He's reunited with Brendan Aronson, who did play in Austria with at RB Salzburg, also played with former Leeds United favourites. I say that in inverted commas because it absolutely is not the case. But he did play with Rasmus Christensen and Maximilian Wöber as well at Salzburg, who were obviously at Leeds once upon a time. As well, I'm sure he did confer with those lads about what it's like to be at Leeds before he signed. He has signed now, made his debut at the Emirates, coming off the bench in that 5-0 defeat, and then he did start the game at Hilsbrough last night. Like I said, nobody put themselves and covered themselves in any sort of glory there. So hopefully his Leeds career can kick on at Ellen Road on Saturday against Newcastle, and let's see how he gets on there. But we're building now a bit of a squad. The deadline is on Monday. I think it is 5 p.m. I don't think it runs till midnight. So Leeds need two attacking options in. And one that I have seen today, as of recording, is Mr. Timo Werner. Timo Werner, Farks, fellow countryman, compatriot, the German striker, 29-year-old, plays for RB Leipzig, was on loan at Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League last season. Obviously played for Chelsea as well in the Premier League. I don't know about this one. Hasn't scored a lot of goals. Didn't score any goals in the Premier League, I don't think, last season. He seems to have gone off the boil a little bit. Very much confidence player, it would seem. So if he can get the confidence back, then who knows? It might be similar to Solomon last season. Whereas if you can get the confidence back, who knows where you can kind of go from there. But any other transfer rumours, let me know in the comments there below. That has been nearly 20 minutes, so I will wrap it up there. But thank you very much for listening to me this evening. I will be back when I can, and hopefully it will be sooner, of course, rather than later. But everybody, enjoy their evenings. Thank you very much for listening. Remember to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to. Marching on together. Let's hope things improve on Saturday. I'll see you on the next one.